Well, hello and welcome, people of the internet, to God of Weapons. This is a kind of brotato slash backpack battles version of a Bullet Heaven that has a lot going for it. It's pretty fun. It's been out for a little while. It's been out for about a year. And this is one that I've kind of had in my library. I've had a lot of these games just kind of sitting in my library waiting to be played. And I've been a little sick over the past couple days. So I've been trying out a bunch of stuff in my backlog. And God of Weapons is one that kind of surprised me. You know, it's inventory management has never been one of my strong suits, but I think that if you're a fan of backpack battles, if you don't know about backpack battles, then this is a pretty good one to check out. So let's go ahead and check out God of Weapons. If you want to check out the game for yourself, link will of course be in the description below. So we have a lot of different characters here to choose from. Now, when you first start, I think the only ones that are going to be available to you are the Knight, Raven, and maybe the Hunter. I know the Knight is definitely the first character, but I've unlocked a couple here, and a couple here are still kind of not available to me. We're going to start here with the Knight. Now, there's a lot of flexibility in how you actually go about building these characters. Each character is going to have 3 different subclasses. These you will have to unlock. For example, the Raven, I've only unlocked the Rogue. Well, you start with the Rogue. You at least start with one, right? You don't start with them all locked. Now, with the Knight, I've unlocked Weapon Master and Eldritch Knight, and you get a cool little like visual representation that you are a different class. We're just going to start with the Knight here, since this is what you would start with typically. I've been playing the game for about 3 hours, so while not everything here, I'm going to know 100% of the way how it actually works. I have a fairly decent understanding of how the game plays. Although there is one thing that if you guys know what exactly how it works, please let me know. It might be a system that I haven't unlocked yet, but we will see. So not only do you get to select your subclass, but you also get to select your starting weapon, starting item, and difficulty, although this doesn't really change your character at all. For starting weapons, we got a bunch of different options here. Each one, you know, it's doing its own good thing. It's going to have its own strengths and its own weaknesses. The one that you start with is short sword, and I believe you do have to unlock the weapons for each subclass. We're going to go here with the small axe here. Going to try going for an axe build here. Small axe likes to be next to other axes. So we're going to be wanting to go for a number of different axes. Now, we could go for more damage for each adjacent axe, but this one is a little bit bigger. It's going to take up a little more inventory space, so I feel like small axe is a good place to start. And then for starting items, I've only unlocked the Tattered Banner here, which is going to give adjacent weapons +3 armor, or it's going to give us extra armor for having weapons next to this. Although this, I found, kind of gets outclassed later on. So we have the option to get rid of it if we want to, and then I haven't unlocked either of these yet. We're going to be playing on difficulty 2. I just haven't played on difficulty 3 yet. And so yeah, I don't want to go and flub the run for you guys. So let's go ahead and pick difficulty 2. There we go. Start up. Now when we start, we get to actually walk around for a little bit here. I believe over here, oh boy. Yep, so meta progression, and this does carry over for each different class. And you can see this is our meta progression currency. The keys, I have not figured out what the keys are for yet. I've seen online that it is for, and I believe this is achievements here. It is, yeah. So it gives you keys. Now I'm assuming, or what I read online was that keys were for unlocking weapons. And over here, actually really cool, for every weapon you unlock, it actually has a visual representation here in like your barracks, which is kind of cool. There is a book over here, or a table I should say, that shows all the different weapons that you haven't unlocked. You can kind of scroll through them and see, oh, maybe that's how it works. Oh, never mind. Figured it out right now. So I guess some of them you do have to actually buy to get, which is interesting. Weird. When I looked at this yesterday, none of these were unlocked. Maybe I was just completely blind to what was going on. Okay, I'll have to look into that a little bit further. But hey, answer that for myself. Maybe the sick brain. I've kind of been fighting like a respiratory something over the past couple days. Now, one of the things that immediately did kind of throw me off is this camera angle. The camera angle itself is, for the most part, not my favorite. It can be a little bit difficult to see when enemies are getting close to you. Now, luckily, there is a setting, which I just found actually this morning. They can actually come in here and change the camera angle to high as opposed to normal. Now, it doesn't fully change the camera, you know, to something that is a little bit easier to visually see, but it does give you a little bit more clarity as to when enemies that are kind of behind your character are getting closer. So I do really appreciate that. Now we get to the bulk of the game. The actual like bullet heaven is not the majority of the game. It's actually your inventory management. So as you level up, you're going to be able to get additional spaces and increase the amount of inventory space you have. So we'll just kind of go ahead and open some of these up. There we go. Now, once we have some more inventory space, we're going to have our shop here on the left, and each of these items does different things. So for example, this will give us more experience gain, but less resource gain, which is our money up here. We go for more damage, lose a little bit of range. We have some different weapons. We're looking for axes though. So we're going to go ahead and re-roll a little bit, see if we can find an axe, because we actually have a pretty decent spot if we were to find another small axe. Well, there we have a throwing axe. +5 crit chance for every adjacent axe. Does full damage and pierces everything on crit, but can't bounce. Well, that's fine. That actually fits right up here. Now, it is a little bit unfortunate because it's going to close off these two squares, but we're going to go ahead and pick this up, slot it in right there, and there's going to be some items that are just one slot, or later on, we'll be able to unlock our inventory even further, so that won't be much of an issue. So I guess for right now, I'm going to reroll maybe once or twice more, see if I can't find a couple like one items here. Now, unfortunately, whetstone is 2 spaces. You can see that in the right, you can see that has 2 little squares on it. Show you exactly how much inventory space it's going to take up. Now, I'm sure there's going to be better ways to min-max kind of what's going on here. I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of time in this video specifically, because I'm sure there's a way to reorganize these, just so that we can get a little bit more space. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the next floor. This video, at least, I'm not going to be focused on min-maxing everything. This one, I'm just more so kind of showing off the game. If you guys haven't seen this game before, you know, showing off how the mechanics work as opposed to trying to get the absolute best build possible, which will definitely be a thing as we kind of work our way up the difficulties. But for right now, you know, just looking to get the mechanics down and, you know, highlight what's going on with the game. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and open up some of the spots. Now we have a 3 connector here. Let's open up some of these spaces. Well, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, let's do some of this. Let's do some of this. There we go. All right here. Now, I do like the hand glass a little bit. It gives us a little bit of lifesteal. So lifesteal, basically, whatever lifesteal your percentage is, there's a chance of healing you for 1. I might take this early. Just help us out a little bit, just so that we have a chance to heal ourselves. We have another axe here, so I'm going to take this. Okay, so if you can't take it, it means that there's nowhere to put it. Now, you might say, oh, well, this is a place to put it. Well, it's likely because if we were to rotate this, there's no way to actually rotate. Like, you can't flip things, right? So the way it says there's no way to line up the axe so it lines up in these spaces. So let's see if we do something like that. Now we have space available right there. We can put those side by side. Now we have both of these axes touching this axe. We do only have 2 axes touching the tattered banner, but that's fine for now. Let's go ahead and re-roll these once or twice. What else we got here? Move speed and luck will make it so that we have a better chance of getting higher tier items. The other thing that we can do is if you look down here under the sell, right down here and combine. If you have 3 of the same item, you can combine them into a higher tier, which will not only make it so that you have more inventory space, but also make it so that they do more damage. Their passives are a little bit stronger and all the like. Let's see. We could go this for more barrels per floor. There, you know what? I'm going to take this for now. Just fill that in. Barrels can give us basically invulnerability buffs. They can give us more gold, but they can also give us more level ups. So having more barrels there is just going to help us out in the long run. Now, one thing that I think is pretty cool is the fact that, you know, it's something that, like, again, if you're familiar with Brotato, this is a very similar style where you have very short floors. You upgrade between floors, and you can have multiple weapons on you at a time. But I think that it's kind of just, it's a cool visual to have, like, all these axes floating behind you, and they just kind of, like, you know, fly out and attack enemies directly. This can be also really cool. I had a sword. Well, the first sword you get on the knight wants you to kind of have a sword build because your base sword does more damage for each sword in your inventory. So just having like 5 or 6 swords on your back just looks pretty freaking sweet. Okay, let's kind of open up these spaces down here. We have the monocle for crit chance armor. We don't have any single spaces right now. I think I'm going to take the handle wrap here, maybe just for more attack speed. Now, another thing that we also have, we have a little bit of like an auto battler tag system. So you can see here on the right, over here, we have agile and throwing. Each of these are different tags on the weapons, and once you hit certain thresholds, you'll get other passive abilities. There are different items you can get that will give tags to other weapons, so you can kind of take advantage of those. So, for example, because we have 2 throwing items, we're getting additional dodge chance and additional range. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any swift weapons, so we don't have more attack speed. We do have another axe here, though. The combat axe. More damage for each adjacent axe. Now, we could possibly find a way to put this in. Well, this needs 6. We only have 5 additional slots open. So if I wanted to put this in, I would need to get rid of something and then could maybe figure out a way to add all this in. The easier thing, though, is I'm just going to lock it. You just right-click it, lock things in, and they're easy enough to find. Now, I'm going to re-roll maybe once or twice. Maybe we can find a higher level. You know what? I think I'm actually going to take the dice here just for more luck to try and find higher tier items. See, like this. So we get another small axe, which is also tier 2, which is great. Now, unfortunately, that took up 1, so I only have 4 spaces. That said, I'm going to lock this one. I'm actually now going to unlock this one because there's no way that I'm going to be able to, you know, combine both of these here. And we're going to be looking for a higher tier anyway. So next floor, we're going to try and get a bunch of levels up and figure out a way to fit that into our inventory. The floors, you know, the floors might seem a little, let's say easy right now, but they will get progressively more difficult as we go through the run. We do need to complete 20 floors, and there's going to be elites that pop up. Those will be easily identifiable. They'll be surrounded in like a red outline, so they're very easy to spot. Now, you don't actually have to kill the elites in order to clear the floor, but if you do, there are different achievements that you get for actually completing those. So we also do have another throwing axe. So what I'm actually going to do here, let's figure out. So what I would need to do is I need to get these 2 spaces. I think that's the easiest way that I can fit this axe. The reason is because then I can combine these. That's going to give me a whole bunch of extra space for this small axe. So let's go ahead there. Perfect. And then let's also go ahead and let's kind of open up this area. Although maybe, yeah, we'll do something like that. So now we're going to go ahead, grab this throwing axe. And so now what we can do is select the one. Not that this really matters because you can kind of move around your weapons based on how you want them to be in the end. But just for simplicity's sake, if you have one that you want to keep where it is. So for example, if I want to keep this throwing axe, I can right click this one, hit combine, select the other 2 axes. Then when I combine them, and they do cost gold, I will still have this axe in its place, right? And the whole thing I was saying is like, sure, I can move this around after the fact, but if you want to if you have one that's in a specific space that you want to keep it, you can do that very easily. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's also touching our tattered banner and our small axe. We can go ahead and, maybe we want to do something like, no, I would need this space, these 2 spaces open for this one. I was going to say, maybe I can connect it here. Although we could do something like this. So if we move this down here, we're going to lose the armor there. I think that's fine, though. We could put this axe up here, which touches all 3. Put this down here. So now we're just kind of opening up some extra space. We can also move this up here, which is now touching 2 axes again. Now all 3 of our axes are touching. Melee power. We don't need magic power. Let's go ahead and reroll a couple times. We have another throwing axe, but it's only tier 1, so we'd have to combine 3 of these to make it tiered. Although it is just, you know, it's just additional damage, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. We can always sell it later. Put it right down there. It's also touching, so we get some more armor. Let's see here. We have additional damage. I'm going to go ahead and take that, slot that right in there, since it is tier 2. This, I'm going to be honest, this scythe looks sweet. I know it doesn't, like, visual aesthetics don't matter for how good a weapon is, but I think this is like S tier weapon just based off the looks. I think it's just absolutely sweet. There we go. So we got all 4 axes on our back, which is pretty cool. And the weapon animations, you know, they all have different animations, which is also really cool. So I really do like the visual flair that this game gives. I think one thing I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to turn up the music just a skosh. I'm going to turn down the sound effects just a little bit. Yeah, so you can see we're getting quite a few more barrels. Now, some of the barrels, also, there's some invulnerability. Some of the barrels will drop a little bomber guy, so you don't really want to be close to them. Now, you can't use them to your advantage because they will explode. Yeah, these guys will explode and kill enemies. Alrighty here. So let's take a look. We do have another throwing axe. Let's see. So let's open up some more spaces. Let's try and open up these spaces here. Unfortunately, this isn't going to open its way up to an axe very much. Although, no, it kind of is. If I can open up this space, that's an excuse me, that's another axe that we can slot in. Let's go ahead and open up the space. Melee power and attack speed. Although some of our weapons do they use? So one thing I haven't fully figured out yet, mostly because I've only been playing the knight. I haven't been playing other weapons. So like if we look here, the second stat down uses stats 100% range. Now what I assume this is indicating is that this is going to be using, let's see, how is this working? We have a damage percent, we have melee power, we have projectile power, magic power. Now you have something like this which reduces projectile power. Now this is going to lower the additional damage that projectiles do. However, the throwing axe, I don't think counts as a projectile. I think that this specifically says projectile. So I would assume that this is not a projectile. It is a throwing weapon. I think that the other thing that indicates that this would not be affected is that the second stat down shows a melee indicator, although it's only using 80% of our maybe melee power. I'm not exactly sure how this use stats is necessarily working, because if this is base damage, 14, and this would be 7 melee power, right? So I'm not exactly sure how this use stats working. If you guys know, kindly let me know down below. Because you can see here, we have 4% lifesteal, which is coming from our mirror here. So the green is all our adjusted stats. White is all our base stats. So let's take a look here. What do we want to go for? Let's go ahead and reroll, see if we can't find any better axes. Again, we have that combat axe. It's only tier 1. We also have more resource gain, vitality armor, some shield for blocking. Maybe we just go for attack speed right now. I could take a little bit of attack speed. That's fine. We also have another tier 1 small axe. Not really all that great. I'm looking for higher tier stuff. We do have another throwing axe. Let's see if I slot. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Okay, I'm going to hold off here. I'm going to hold a little bit of my gold. Again, just kind of wait on some higher tier stuff. Although getting another throwing axe would give me one closer to this. So it's something I really want to work towards. Probably not, because I'm probably more likely to sell this. All right, so let's go ahead and... I want this resource gain. Yeah, we'll do one more reroll. One more reroll. Melee power, magic power, dodge chance, move speed, luck. Sure, I'll take this just to fill it out for now. Just get a little bit more luck. Hopefully find some higher tier weapons here. As far as I remember, there are 4 different tiers of weapons. So there's regular, which is white, there's blue tier, there's purple tier, and then red tier. Yeah, so 4 tiers of weapons. Alright, let's see if we can't break this chest. Now, I don't recall... Yeah, so it doesn't look like... I'm wondering if there's a difference, or if all the barrels have this face on them. I thought that some of the barrels didn't have the face on them, but I could be wrong about that. So let's go ahead and open up that slot. We'll open up some space up here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I could fit this throwing axe. I think I am going to fit the throwing axe in now, so let's go ahead and slot this in. Again, there's a chance that I end up combining those. Well, then we have another throwing axe. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is you might be wondering, well, what if you get into this situation where I don't really have a space to move this axe? Well, you do. It's not exactly super clear if you're kind of playing this for the first time, but there is a space down here where if you put a weapon down here, there's a place for one item. Now, I believe that this can be unlocked in the meta progression, so you can have multiple different spaces, but that's one of those things that the game doesn't really tell you. You just kind of have to figure out. So we can put that down here. We can put this axe right up here, and we can go ahead and combine these, which will open us a whole bunch of different space. We can go ahead and put this axe over here, put this back in. We want to do it this way, though. Now it's touching as many things as possible. Am I going to grab these elf shoes? Projectiles, power, move speed? Nope, we're not going to grab that. And range. Do I want to grab the range? I think that's reasonable. I mean, it's not like super great, but you know what? It's going to help us out a little bit. So I'm just going to turn that. So that way I can put this over here. Let's go ahead and reroll. What is this? When consumed, health point reduced to 50% max health, but we get an extra revival. I don't think we'll need that. Well, it doesn't matter. Can't buy it anyway. Let's see here. We also have restore 40% health. Now you do recover a little bit of HP between maps. Yeah, there's nothing I really want. Okay, we're losing a lot of gold here, so I think I'm just going to call it... Oh, you know what? I'm going to get the extra experience here. All right, we'll go to next floor. Oh, and the barrels also drop food. I can't believe I forgot to mention that they drop food. Yeah, food heals you. You get a whole like ham dinner, which is very nice. Although ham, I'm gonna be honest, ham not one of my favorite meats, but yeah, I'm a big one for roast chicken. My mom, oh boy, she makes a great roast chicken dinner. Get some roast chicken, we get some potatoes, you get some peas, some homemade gravy. Always delicious, always good. That is something that if my mom's like, hey, we're having dinner, you want to come over? I'm like, what are you making? She's like, roast chicken. I'm like, yep, immediately. Not that I would ever say no to my mother. How dare you? How dare you suggest that I would say no to my mother? All right, so let's take a look here. When consumed, permanently increases crit chance by 5, but decreases our vitality. Our vitality is some additional health. We already have some additional vitality, so I think I'm just going to take this, use it. There we go. Get some more crit chance. We'd also get this for more luck. We do lose some attack speed, but we get some more crit chance. I think I'm going to take that. And we do have that combat axe. Unfortunately, while it looks like, again, this is kind of one of those things that it kind of teases you. While it looks like we should be able to put this here, we can't, right? Because if you were to rotate this image 180 degrees, you'd actually also have to flip it horizontally. And so based on this space alone, we can't actually fit it there. Now, because of these spaces, there's likely a way to move around our entire inventory, but like I said, we're not trying to min-max this run here. So we have the monocle, which we can go for more crit chance. Our crit chance is pretty low. Our crit damage is actually really low too. We're kind of more so just going for attack speed. Although these guys have some additional crit chance. Yeah, 50% crit chance. So we're looking for something maybe for crit damage. More lifesteal. I think I will take the more lifesteal. What do we got here? Yeah. I've seen these gloves a couple times. They look pretty cool, but they don't really help me out all that much on these builds. So there's another throwing axe. So we're going to do the same trick as we did before. Swap that out. We're going to go ahead and combine these. So now we get a tier 3 axe. Never mind, because we don't have enough gold. We are broke. We are broke buddies. Okay, well, we did buy this, so let's go ahead and figure out how to slot this in. Easy enough. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next floor. Although, you know, that being said, I'm probably actually going to, now that I think about it, I'm probably actually going to keep these all tier 2 until we find another axe to put into our inventory. Right, since we do get benefits on having multiple axes touching our other axes, it's actually beneficial. And of course, we have a bunch of extra attacks going off. Let's go ahead and grab this in vulnerability. It's obviously beneficial to have more attacks going off to hit more enemies. versus having, you know, one axe that's slightly stronger. So since I don't have anything else to fill in the slots just yet, it's probably beneficial actually to keep them all separated until I do have something better. All right, now let's go ahead and open up these spaces over here. Nice. So the Arcane Anvil is a free upgrade to something. Now the question is, do I want to hold on to it? I think I kind of do just want to hold on to it because I'm one axe away from combining these. These already I can combine, so there's no real sense in tearing these up. That being said, obviously it's taking up 2 spaces here. So what we could do is do something like this. So if we buy this, we can go ahead. Wait, why can't I? Oh, right. So, duh. I need to upgrade this to tier 2. Now I have a tier 2. Now I can combine these to make a tier 3. And then I can put that there, put this back over here. And now I got a bunch of space. So I could just, you know what? I'm actually just going to buy this combat axe because now I can slot it in over here. There we go. It's not the strongest axe, but it is connected to 2 different axes. So that's giving an additional 12 base damage. Now, if we wanted to, and to be most efficient, technically, what I should probably do is do something like this. Move this down, move this up. If I move that there, it's only touching 1, so I'm only getting 3 armor. So this is where the inventory management really starts to kind of take hold of the game. So if I do something like this, move this down here, I can move this up here. Now it's touching 2 different axes, which I think is fine for now. Overall armor, I mean, it's a pretty small percent, right? And that's mostly why I think this thing kind of gets outclassed pretty fast. Although having additional armor gives you more melee power, so, you know, it can kind of be... It can be a good thing. And then I think I'm just going to fill this slot in with a whetstone. All this tier 1 stuff we can kind of replace later. But yeah, now that we have an additional weapon there, it kind of mitigates the fact that we did combine 3 of our weapons into one that's slightly more powerful. Okay, we got another barrel over here. Actually, a couple barrels. See if we... Nope, all bombs. All bombs all the time. Okay, the invulnerability is nice for the final floor. Now, one other thing that I'm not exactly sure about, someone can hopefully clarify for me, is... So, in Brotato... Again, I'm kind of combining because the gameplay is very similar. In Brotato, you only... So when you finish a floor, you only get a percentage of the final experience that's left out on the floor. You get 100% of the experience as you pick it up walking around, but you only get a small percentage if it collects at the end of the round. I haven't confirmed yet whether that's the case, so if someone could let me know, that would be great. I assume that's the case. It would seem a little bit powerful to just automatically collect all of the resources that are left over at the end of a floor, but I wouldn't push it past them to make that happen. Let's see here. Nothing really here for me. Although this gives melee power and armor. Yeah, that's not good enough. Not good enough. Another combat axe. Not that I really care for that. Another tier 1 throwing axe. Recovery basically helps us heal over time. Nope, we're just going to keep re-rolling. Ah, okay. More damage, but we have more enemies. I'm going to be taking that one. First of all, I got to find a place for it. This is one of the weirder shapes. It's a little T shape. I think what I'm going to have to do is, let's see. So if we do one of these, can I actually slot it in? Well, I have 4. It's going to take me a little bit of moving around. So I think what I'm going to have to do here, can I open up this space? Problem is I have a couple singles here that are kind of making it difficult to move things around, right? Because I could do something like this, which opens up these 3 spaces. I need this space active, though. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to make this go way quicker. Just get rid of that. Pop this down here. There we go. Now, was there probably a better way to do that? Yes, I'm assuming there was a much better way to do that. But like I said, I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Once we do future runs, I'll probably, because I'm likely going to do more videos of this on the channel as long as you guys enjoy it, I will probably just kind of like speed up the time that I'm doing some inventory management just to make it easier for you guys. And let's get some more lifesteal percentage. That brings us, what, up to 13%? That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take it. All right, so now I'm assuming there's going to be an elite on this floor. I believe it's floor 10 they start showing up. I could be wrong. And I might eat... Ah, there we go. We got the succubus. So let's go ahead and try and focus her down. She's going to fire these, like, homing orbs on us. Now, again, there's no downside to not defeating her. However, you do unlock different achievements if you do defeat a certain number of these. So I am going to try to kill her, but she kind of gets caught up in these groups of enemies. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, we're getting mighty hurt here. I think we did kill her though. I don't see her. And I'm not getting the homing beacon, so I think we did get rid of her. But yeah, much easier. There's I was playing the barbarian before, and she uses hammers which do area of effect attacks. Much easier to kill them when you're not just like throwing single target axes. Okay, let's go ahead and open up space over here. I want to open up that space. Let's connect these. Now we have more movement speed, more resource gain, more enemy amount. Don't think this is really beneficial to me. Oh, what do we have here? Great axe. 40% chance to perform a whirlwind attack. 5% chance to perform a whirlwind attack for each adjacent axe. Oh, buddy. Oh, that looks sweet. Okay, let me move this down here for a second. Because this uses what? It uses basically this whole chunk, and I need one more space here. Nice. Now, unfortunately, we do have a lot of these, like, single spaces. Yeah, so you're getting sold. 100%. Liquid Rainbow, I haven't really liked. Right now, I'm kind of just looking for, like, more of these dice, really. We also have this, which I'm probably going to get just for more. We lose some range. Do I care about that? Yeah, might. We get more gold. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this out for now. It'll give me more chances to reroll. Oh, there's another one. Definitely don't have enough space for that. All right, and then I'm gonna take a monocle to kind of fill out these single spaces. All right, next floor. All right, now let's hope our lifesteal can kind of take a hold here and bring us back up to a good amount of health. We definitely had a close call last round. Very nice. Easy enough. Unfortunately, we're kind of back down where we were health-wise. Okay, let's go ahead and open up some more space down here. Monaco we don't really care about the discount because we're also already getting way more resources from there. This would give us more, what is it, vitality and recovery, but I don't have enough spaces for it. That's a lot of extra health, though. We also have the more recovery. Recovery is what? 0 health per second. Okay, let's get rid of one of the hand glasses. Put this here. Well, that's kind of a small amount. 0.3 health per second. Pretty small amount of health that we get, but I couldn't remember what the actual number was. Yeah, we're getting a lot of these giant axes here. Do we go for a crit chance? No, I think I'm just going to hold off. What do we have here? Projectile power. That doesn't help me at all. We have more damage. We can go for more damage. Probably going to get rid of this crate collar now. Slot that in there. All right. Next floor. Yeah, the whirlwind is definitely gonna, I'm hoping, will help build up some of our lifesteal since it can hit so many different enemies. Yeah, I mean we're already back up to pretty much full here. All right, very nice, very nice. Couple level ups. Let's go ahead and unlock some more spaces up here. So the red cube, recovery and lifesteal, but we lose a little bit of health. I'm totally fine with that. That's a fairly reasonable pickup. This one I have not tried yet. Seems a little sketchy. More lifesteal, more dodge chance, but your HP is reduced to 1. Next floor. I'm going to be honest, have not had the balls to try that yet. Let's go ahead and get some more lifesteal here. I'm okay with that. Black Wing, move speed, lifesteal, but we lose a little bit of luck. Swing that over. Can pop this up here. Ooh, what is this? This is new to me. Sacred Leaf, Vitality Armor, restore HP equal to armor at the beginning of every floor. All other healing methods are 50% effective. So, what does this make? Well, Okay, I'm going to try this out because I'm not sure exactly how this works with, obviously our recovery is pretty low anyway, but how does this work with lifesteal? Do we only recover half a hit point? I don't know. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna sell these two, pop this in. It's gonna give us a bunch more armor. I mean, that's gonna reduce damage taken by 22%. That seems pretty good. Do we want another lifesteal glove? I could get rid of 8% attack speed. And we're only in the positive because of this. I think we're good. I don't think we need more lifesteal because we already have the Sacred Leaf. Okay. So let's see how it works. Let's see. I'm assuming that it still stays at 1. Which I actually can't find out right now because we're at max health. Somebody hit me. Somebody hit me. Wait. There we go. No, god dang it. Hit me. There we go. Yeah, we're still getting 1 from lifesteal. So because our other healing methods aren't in big chunks, you know, obviously, if we get like a ham dinner, that's going to recover. It's going to restore half, but it's going to help us out if we get a bit too weak at the start of floors. And we have a bunch of armor that's going to reduce damage incoming, so that's not too bad. Oh boy, we're getting a little bit surrounded here. Okay, nice. So let's go ahead and open up. Yeah, not the best placement there. Gonna be completely honest. Could have done that a little bit better. Don't care for that. We got another. Oh, we got a big axe. The halberd. What do you do? Actually, this doesn't even count as an axe, I don't think. So another thing that I haven't figured out. I think I know how this works. Because to me, this looks like an axe. However, I think it's classified as a pole arm. Because, for example, this is specifically for each adjacent axe. Now, there is no axe tag, but I believe that axe has to be in the name for it to work. I think the same can be said for the long sword, I think it is, for the knight, which is the first weapon you, well, typically start with. And I think it specifically needs the word axe in it. So this technically would not help us out. Okay, let's go ahead and reroll these. I do wish there's a little bit of background music here. It's feeling a little bit empty. All right, so let's go ahead and take this here. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this great axe because if we're being honest, there's no way I'm ever getting multiple of these to tier them up. It's not going to happen. What was this? Yeah, magic power. Don't need that. This is what? Move speed, crit chance. Minus range. I think I'm okay with that. Just get more crit chance. We got another throwing axe. Do I want to get that? I'm going to lock it. I'll buy it next round and try and fit it in rather than combining. Because again, we already have 3 throwing axes. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get another throwing axe. Ooh, although we do have another small axe. Okay, I'm going to lock both. I'll see which one I can get next round. I would obviously prefer to get the tier 3 weapon. Come on, spooters. All right, 50 more seconds. Ooh, there's a free like 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. There, we finally got a level up out of one of those. I feel like that's the first level up we've got so far. Nice. Okay, so for this, yeah, I would need 5 spaces. Okay, let's see. Can I? Yeah, I was gonna say, give me one up here. That's not. Nope, you're not going where I want you to. Oh, there we go. That's fine. So I can slot that there. It's not next to a bunch of axes. It's only next to the one, but that at least gives another 5% chance for a whirlwind attack, which is mostly what I'm looking for. Still have the throwing axe there. Melee power armor. I think I'm going to take that. Okay, let's go to the next floor. Now, I'm sure there's an argument to be made that I should be spending all my gold every round and just re-rolling like crazy in order to try and hopefully find like a tier 4 weapon or something. Oh, what was that? That was weird. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I don't have the patience for that for the most part. I'm not sure if it's available in this game. I do kind of wish they were... well, I don't know how this would necessarily work. I was going to say different way. Obviously, you can re-roll the shop. I was going to say, I don't know how, like, banishes would work if they were in this game. Especially since you can get weapons that aren't necessarily for your class, even though you can use them, right? Like, we could use different, like, crossbow weapons on this character. There's nothing saying we can't use them. It's just that our starting weapon liked us to use an axe. there are obviously different stats for different classes that are going to push you in certain directions. Mostly looking at this. More barrels per floor, and we get more luck. Resource gain, experience gain, but we do less damage. I'm buying both of these. Get rid of this. Slot that in there. More experience, enemy speed, don't really care. Dodge chance. 2% damage when successfully dodging. Move speed when getting hit. What's our dodge chance right now? It's probably pretty low. I don't think I have anything. Oh, we have an okay chance to dodge. It's going to give us, what, an additional 10%? All right, I'll lock her in. We'll grab her next floor. Yeah, especially when there's so many different items that you can get. I don't think you'd have to have a bunch. I mean, a bunch of banishes in order to make it function like you would in other bullet heavens. So, I guess in that sense, in the level up sense, it's a little bit less of a, I guess, well, what even is a traditional bullet heaven? It's a little bit less of a like vampire survival style level up where you have a more limited number of level ups. So banishing things is going to be more beneficial. And it's a little bit more of that backpack battle feel where there's a bunch of different items that you can use. And it's up to you to kind of figure out how to best manage your inventory. But yeah, again, it's one of those things where could I spend, you know, like, obviously it's not going to take hours. That's going to be a bit hyperbolic, but sure, I could sit here for quote unquote hours, re-rolling, try and get the absolute best items, trying to use all my gold. But I don't know. I just don't want to do that, you know? I just don't want to do that. Oh, I still have this locked. Oh, I've probably been wasting a bunch of my rerolls. Yeah, still nothing there. More resources doesn't really matter at this point. We're getting kind of towards the end. Let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to go ahead and upgrade. Try and get this up. Well, we will get this up to tier 4. 6% chance to perform a whirlwind attack. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let's keep rerolling here. Crit chance move speed. Where are we at? 15%. Sure. That can slot down there. We have up here dodge chance, move speed. Don't really care. We got a nice tier 4 fist. What else do we want? Small axe. Unfortunately, I can't fit it in. I don't have enough spaces. Lifesteal. Don't really care. Oh, there's a tier 4 small axe though. That I will try and fit in next round. See, I think the 3D effect of like all the axes on your back is cool. It's a small thing. Does it affect gameplay? No, but it just looks pretty sweet. Oh, that's a lot of explosions. That is a lot of explosions. I think another thing that I'm not sure how difficult this would be, so you know, I'm just gonna kind of throw my opinion out there, and maybe it's too difficult to manage with this many things going on. I'm surprised that there's no, like, passive buff indicator while you're playing it all. Like, for example, the feather we just got... Man, there's nothing up here. I'm trying to expand this area. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. Oh, there we go. That should allow us to get this, right? Yeah, there we go. So, for example, we have more damage when successfully dodging, but we have less move speed when getting hit. Stuff like that, I'm surprised there's nowhere to see how it's actually affecting your character. I'm sure the way to see it is probably to open up your menu and see these stats and kind of analyze what's going on. Like 2% damage. Okay, well, how much damage am I actually doing? There's no breakdown or anything. I'm assuming that is the way that's intended for you to see those things. And again, I'm guessing that it's probably too complicated in order, because there's probably a lot of different things that are applying different kinds of buffs, and what buffs do you actually show off. Oh, that's pretty good defensive helmet. Not really for us though. I think I'm going to hold on to this Great Demon Skull. If I get a spot here, that's like a really great place to put it. Or really anywhere here, because I can kind of just slide these up and down. So yeah, I'll lock that in. Oh, we got a tier 4 throwing axe. At this point, I think I'm just going to sell off. I think we're just going to sell off a blue throwing axe. Slide that in there. You have the combat axe. Not enough space there. Melee power, magic power, but we lose crit. But we get melee power for every adjacent melee weapon. Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Melee power for each 2 recovery. So that would only be 5 additional melee power. I don't think that's necessarily worth it, though. Could lock in the combat axe as well. Don't know if I'll be able to fit it in, but we'll just hold on to it for right now. I'm just going to take this handle wrap. I'll likely sell it here in the future because, like I just said, I'm holding on to this space. But it'll at least help me out for the next floor. I have way more gold than I could, I think, ever use at this point. I think, from what I remember, actually, thinking about the meta progression, there are bonuses for when you reach certain, like, so in the meta progression, you can unlock different tiers that give you additional inventory slots at given levels. So at like every 5 levels, you get some additional inventory slots. I think there would be much more use for how much gold I have if I could just unlock more inventory slots faster. There might be a way to do that in the game, but like I said, I've only been playing for a short amount of time, so some of the features I'm still working on kind of unlocking and unveiling. And so I do not have all the answers, despite what my friends and coworkers say, which in those circumstances, typically, yes, I have most of the answers. I'm typically the person that people go to whenever they need something fixed. Okay, let's go ahead and do one of these. Let's do one of these. There we go. That opens up the slot over here. Actually, open a bunch of these slots. Actually, slide this down. Pop this over here. Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, don't really care about that at all. Oh, when taking lethal damage, consume 2 Titanites? Is this a Titanite? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what a Titanite is. I'm guessing it's this, but I don't know. I do not know. Okay, do I think I'm going to be able to unlock this? Or to fit it in? I think I might be able to. Ooh. Okay. Sell one of these. Plop you in. Very nice, very nice. What do you have for move speed? Ooh, that gives us a lot of extra dodge. And more luck. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up for sure. Let's go ahead and move this down here. Especially where this is also giving us more damage whenever we successfully dodge. Having more dodge chance. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Got some boots. This will give us more recovery. I'm not really crazy about that. I'm just going to wait. We could go for another throwing. Actually, I can't even fit it in. All right, next floor. All right, so we got one floor left after this. Ultimately, my goal is going to be to try and defeat the boss, and that is one of the, like, the slightly different things about God of Weapons compared to other bullet heavens is that whenever a boss appears, you do not have to beat it. Obviously, it's going to be beneficial because the more bosses and elites you beat, like I mentioned before with the succubus, the more achievements you're going to unlock or work towards. But you don't necessarily lose the run if you survive the amount of time for the floor and don't beat the boss. As far as I found, which is a really interesting mechanic, because I mean, just from like my gaming history, it feels slightly wrong to be offered up a boss and be like, no, you don't have to beat it. Like, you can, but like, it's not necessary. It's like, huh? Really? Okay, if you say so. Yeah, this was a little bit unfortunate. Okay. Oh, wow, we gotta... Wait, why did we get so many level ups? Wow, we got a whole heck of a lot of spaces. So... slot you in there. We do have a throwing axe. Can I put it anywhere? That's the question. Does that do anything for me? Not really. Not really. It's only tier 2 anyway. Melee power and armor. No, I'm just going for damage at this point. Move speed, max dodge chance, attack speed when not moving. Yeah, you know, I'm not feeling the whole not moving thing. Definitely would like to be on the move if possible. Okay, so at this point, I am going to use as much gold as I can to try and get as much damage as possible. Experience gain. No, nothing here. Do have another small axe. Actually, do I even need this anymore? It's giving me luck. But do I care about that? I don't really think so. Obviously, there's a little bit more stuff, but I think at this point, I'm just going to sell. Vitality, no. Go ahead and grab the upgrade. Let's go ahead and upgrade. Small axe? Yeah. Let's get more attack speed. Move speed, crit chance. But we lose range. No, I think I'm going to hold out on that. Recovery, magic power, don't care, don't care, don't care. Don't care about any of this. Crit chance, but we lose attack speed. No, don't really care about that. Yeah, let's just get the Thorn Bracer, more damage. And I think that might end up being it. Lifesteal, I don't think I really care about. You know what? I think I actually I changed my mind. I am going to take the lifesteal. Cover your lifesteal. Yep. There we go. Literally, and min-max as much as possible. 3 gold left. Yeah, I'm going to take the lifesteal here, especially because I am going to try and force down the boss. And so that's going to mean that I'm going to have to get kind of close to a bunch of enemies. Since I don't have a great, like, AoE style to get rid of them. Luckily, I do have this whirlwind axe that's doing crazy work because it's so strong. And there we go. Boss down. Nice. And if you do beat the boss, it is immediate victory, obviously. If you don't, you just try and survive. You just got to last the full, whatever it was, minute and a half. I didn't check at the very start. But there we go. So we get a full breakdown of everything. We have a full breakdown of our inventory, which is kind of nice to look at and kind of get a full glimpse of what we've been doing. Inventory, 102 inventory slots, gold earned, enemy defeated, total damage, and runtime. There we go. Very nice start. So yeah, God of Weapons. God of Weapons is really sweet. I really like what's going on here. Now, you know, it's one of those games where the game itself to me feels like it's a little bit more of the inventory management and building your character as opposed to actually playing the game in the bullet heaven mode, just because some of the floors are really short. So it feels like there's a little bit less. I'm sure if I broke down game time in terms of minutes between those two, I bet it would probably be 75% spent in inventory management versus 25% in actual gameplay. But if you like that kind of meticulous, trying to figure out exactly where all the pieces can go, absolutely min-max your inventory for as much damage as possible, I think this one is really sweet. And again, I like the fact that it's not just like the knight character, the rogue character. It's the knight character with 3 subclasses, with a million different starting weapons, with different starting items, and each one can drastically change your play experience, your build experience, and how you actually play the game, and can drastically change your build. So for all the characters we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different characters. Each one has 3 subclasses. So now you're up to 36 different ways to play. You also have all the different starting weapons. I'm not even going to do that math, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of gameplay here to be had. There's a lot of different achievements, a lot of things to unlock. So if you're one of those players that likes unlocking a bunch of things and just having different goals to progress through and achieve, I think this one is really sweet. Obviously, there are things that I'm not as much a big fan of. The camera angle, while there is an option to kind of increase the angle to get you a little bit higher in the scene, sometimes because of the isometric nature, it can be a little bit more difficult to see when enemies are behind you trying to hit you. But for the most part, you do kind of get used to it. And the fact there is that setting to raise you up a little bit higher, I think I would be a little bit more critical if that option wasn't there. And I think that might have been, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that might have been an update that came later after the game first launched, because I seem to recall watching someone play this a while ago and there wasn't that option. But I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, there, like I mentioned, there's the whole like passive system that there's no way to see like what active or passive buffs are being activated on your character. But I think ultimately that might be a little bit too difficult of a thing to determine like what is actually being seen on your character. I'm guessing that's the reason why that's not there. There's maybe just too many items, too many things to say like, oh, we're actually going to show all these buffs, and it might make the screen a little bit too cluttered. That ultimately is not a super big deal. It was just something that I kind of noticed that maybe would be nice to see, but it is not an overall like make it or break it. You know, obviously there's the weapon unlock system, which I need to explore a little bit more, something that I wasn't exactly clear on when I started recording, but then discovered that we have to use the keys to actually unlock more weapons. Now, I was noticing some of the weapons were different tiers, so I don't know exactly if how that's specifically working. I would assume you just unlock the base weapon and then all the tiers come after that, but I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to explore into that a little bit more. But ultimately, I think this one is pretty sweet. You know, it's clearly, you know, it does have an 85%. It is very positive on Steam. Has been out for a little bit, and you know, there are updates coming fairly regularly. And yeah, seems like a good one to give a shot. But guys, what did you think of God of Weapons? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you did have fun, you learned something, or you just, you know, you just like the content, would you kindly smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more roguelike action just like this. Guys, I've been Ganyonz. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.